Hello, Wankers, and welcome.
What up, Vankahs?
Greetings, Vankahs. It's Miami, baby. We're still stuck here, and Guenther got the hell out. He's already back home in North Carolina. Why'd you leave so quickly, Guenther? You don't like Miami?
No, I didn't want to hang out with you two guys, So because
you don't want to hang out in our beautiful Airbnb? Look at our beautiful art we have behind us.
Oh yeah, it's really high-end art, and you look a little bit. What did you do last night? I think you went partying to Miami,
No, Guenther, we were here working. Okay, you were leaving. Some of us actually have to work after the race because some of us put out multiple podcasts a week. Okay.
Yeah, some have to work at home, It's like, all right, thanks. Yeah, thanks for telling me I'm not working. Yeah, all right, all right,
Well, we had to prep for this one, so you could just
all right,
waltz on in and look like a natural.
Thank you.
That's right. There's a lot of work, and we look like this, so you can look like that, Guenther. How about that?
Absolutely.
That's what's really going on. But you know what? We
thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
We got a lot to discuss today. We've got a lot to get to because Miami, I gotta say, delivered. Miami brought the drama. Miami brought the chaos. We might have a new world order. Kimi Antonelli, is he the new king of Formula One? George Russell, how is he feeling right now? And is Max Verstappen back, or is McLaren going to make a run? These are all the things to discuss. But before we get to that, cue the music.
No Vox smash, my dog. I'm Guenther fucking Steiner and I'm back for more. No Vox smash, my dog. I'm Guenther fucking Steiner and it's time for Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby.
And we're back. All right, Guenther. We're going to need your Rockstar and Wanker for the Miami Grand Prix. Guenther, who was your Rockstar for Miami?
Kimi Antonelli. Fair play to the guy. I mean, he cannot. What he's doing in the moment is pretty good, And he's only 19 years old. Yeah, he's been trained a long time to be this. But to do in your second season that for me is the really thing which stands out. It's not obviously his age as well is something very good, but in your second season to have 3 wins in a row, it's pretty cool, So no, fair play. Rockstar, there's no doubt about this weekend.
Have you ever seen anything like this? Is this reminiscent of anything you've ever seen before?
No, not in this style. It's something special, even when Max came in, because Max came in with the Racing Bulls, Toro Rosso, whatever they were called at the time, and it's he didn't have the machine to do it. But then it's not only you need the machine, but his teammate is not Guenther Steiner, it's Josh Russell, So it's like he has got a good teammate, very good driver, which I rate highly, and I thought it's his time to bring it home this year, the championship. But I think Kimi is slowly taking it away from him. If he can keep his cool, George, I think he will go. He will be the vice champion, not the champion.
You heard it here first. Guenther Steiner says that Kimi is better than Max Verstappen. Clip it!
I can see the headlines now. Guenther Steiner says, well, Guenther, you doubted him going into this race. I mean, in our last predictions, we said, is George Russell going to, get back at Kimi? You said yes. We said no.
That's right.
Anything, you regretting your words there?
Oh, I don't regret it. I got it wrong. I mean, nobody's perfect,
That's right. He's just a
Some
self-loathing
of us
Italian.
are getting very close to it. Some of us get very close to it, but not.
So, Guenther, wait, are you implying that you think that this is Kimi Antonelli's championship to lose right now?
To lose, he still needs to win it, He still needs to win it. I mean, but I say he's showing all the signs of not being bothered with whatever happening, The thing which I mostly fear that there is maybe he has got some, just some issues and then loses his cool about it, A little bit like Oscar did last year. He was well in command, let's say, before the summer break. And after the summer break, 2 little incidents, and not incidents, 2 things happened which he didn't like. And he lost the championship. Yeah, maybe it is for him to lose, but I think we are early in the season. But what I see here is like, whatever we say, George didn't have issues, so there was nothing really, even in qualifying. Kimi was better, It's just like he does a very good job.
And his practice was one of his Fridays was completely compromised, and so he didn't even have a straightforward weekend. And I think the other thing that's really remarkable is like, I think what we saw against Lewis, George Russell's racecraft was good, but it was his qualifying that like really stood out. And I think Antonelli has gotten some luck on some Sundays after some bad starts, but I think that his performance against George Russell on Saturday, which is supposed to be George's strength, it's remarkable. He beat him in a bunch of qualifyings now, and that's just skill at this point.
Yeah, no, it's just skill. But as you say, the starts, I think he needs to work on them because he's not fantastic on them, to say the least. He normally doesn't get out. And listening to Charles also on his racecraft, huh? So, yeah.
That's right. Well, he walked that back pretty quickly. Guenther, do you think that there was some Ferrari Maranello pressure to be like, do not talk shit about the Italian Jesus, okay? Do not talk shit about Kimi Antonelli.
No, I don't think so. I think, Charles, when you're out there and the emotions gets hold of you, it's you can say something and then you re-see it and say, actually, it wasn't too bad. Maybe it was just better,
Good.
All right.
Guenther, you think if you switch out Kimi with Lindblad, and he says the same thing about Lindblad, you think he's walking that back?
Yeah, I would say so. Charles is a fair guy. I mean,
I think Charles is a nice guy. I just think that, he knows.
He's not nice. It's a fair.
Come on, there's got to be a little bit of a
Ferrari. He's got such a big Italian fan base. You don't think there was it was a political move?
You're overthinking this again,
I think you're underthinking.
This is racing. Yeah. These are race car drivers.
Yeah, he doesn't overthink it, but
their thinking.
I think the PR guys around him are overthinking it. I don't think he's thinking.
Or that he recognizes, he knows, he in the moment he says it, and then afterwards he's like, "Shit, I fucking
I shouldn't have said
so much time in Italy."
Yeah.
Let's roll it back against young Kimi Antonelli. Okay, Guenther, if you are Toto Wolff right now, what are you saying to George Russell?
I more wonder what is George saying to Toto. Think about
it. What do you? You're George. You're like, what is George Russell saying to Toto? You think?
Oof, I wouldn't be surprised if they, in the moment, they talk because they know each other a long time, but I don't think they go into any deep discussion what is happening because that could go wrong for both of them. So it's like, okay, this is Toto's adopted son, which is doing good.
Right.
And that was me before he came along. But it's all good because we love all each other. But I want to be world champion. So I think there is, I think they, on the surface, you try to make it, okay, we are doing the best job we can, always being pragmatic about everything and very clear, everything is fine. But in the back of your head, for sure, George is thinking, what is happening here, And then I'm sure there is people telling George or Toto is favoring Kimi and he has got the better car and things like this, which I don't believe. I think they are treated fairly. I would never doubt that one. That Toto would, but it's the support morally. I think for Toto is so proud of it to have invented Kimi Antonelli. Right. So for sure that is I think it's also very difficult to deal for Toto with this, I think, because he knows everybody looking at him is, his adopted son is doing well, which he's very happy. But I don't think it's I think it's still a good situation, and I think they're not speaking a lot about it. That's the best way. Avoid it.
They're sweeping it under the rug.
And sometimes help. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to say it.
Stiff upper lip in that. You know, they're
Right,
having beautiful, stoic, emotionally repressed responses to difficult times.
Always just like
it's
technical.
just you do your job.
Very boomer of you, Guenther.
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
Okay. We'll talk a little bit more about Mercedes. We'll talk a little bit more about what's going on over there. But we need your wanker for the Miami Grand Prix. Guenther, who is your wanker for Miami?
There is a few candidates. I think Audi didn't do too good, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a compliment, you know, not doing too good, you know.
It's a nice way of putting it. Yeah.
Not too good. Who else?
I mean, there's Liam Lawson with Pierre Gasly. He just can't seem to not find his way.
Apparently, he had a technical problem.
He had a technical problem, sure, but it's why is it always him?
Yeah.
And then, exactly.
I was thinking the same. It's like, dude, I mean, at some stage, it's like, when something happens you shouldn't be doing, you're involved in it, you know.
He's the new K-Mag.
It's like Taylor Swift. She's got all these breakup songs, and it's like maybe it's you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, she's in love now,
exactly.
and she's found her man.
Yeah, right. Okay.
She was just waiting for the one, and that's what Liam Lawson's waiting for, just like the right race. What about Guenther? What about the stewards? What about all these penalties? Yeah. What about all these the FIA penalties after the fact?
Hold on. We're completely forgetting McLaren for getting undercut. Like Lando probably could have won that race. Are they not in contention, Guenther?
Yeah, but you know, now we have it hindsight. I don't think they did a lot wrong there. I mean, you know, you didn't really know if it rains or not and all that good stuff, you know. So now we know, obviously, you smart ass, you know, Mr. Hindsight, you know, whatever I want to call you, you know, throwing shit at somebody. But it would have been still difficult. I think that they saw it as an opportunity and obviously lost the opportunity.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't think a lot went wrong there. So I wouldn't put them in the wanker box, you know.
Okay.
But the stewards,
there's bigger wankers to be discussed.
Yeah.
I mean, Cadillac, Aston Martin, we're just not even thinking about it anymore because it's just such a mess. But I don't know.
How about MBS pouring water on Kimi's head, like always in the background, mingling, inserting himself?
I don't
into every
understand it. I saw that one. I didn't understand it. Do you think Kimi asked him? I don't.
There seems to be like a disrespect to the guys. It's not necessarily just the young guys, because they've done it to like Lando Norris, but they would never do it to Max. They would never do it to Max Verstappen. You think MBS would do it to Max Verstappen or Fernando Alonso or Lewis Hamilton?
No.
Like, I don't think that they would do that, but there's some, you know, they love to like...
They infantilize.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that one because, you know, obviously it was cold, hot, not cold. He wanted to cool him down, but if you're not asked to be drenched in water, I'm pretty good.
Did you see the look on Kimi's parents' faces after that?
No, I didn't see that one.
They didn't seem particularly happy. They seemed to be a little bit like, what the fuck was that? That's what'd you just do to my son?
I think they were not the only ones which said that one. I think there was a few people which had that. A few people said, what the fuck was that? Not only the parents, you know.
So what's going on with his hair, Guenther? Do we know what's happening? What is that? Is that a dye? What do we know? Has anyone figured that? Okay.
Okay. Guenther, we talked. We need a wanker. Who's your wanker?
You know, I got the same questions from Greta yesterday. Why the president has got this? I don't know. I have no idea. You know. Okay. I have no idea.
You got next time you see him, you got to
ask.
Back
to the wanker. So,
yes.
But I think the stewards, because I was sitting in the aeroplane already going back home when I heard that there were still penalties going around. So
right.
I'm just thinking, you know, we need to decide it after the race. But I think there needs to be a time limit. If you don't know, guess what? Don't give a penalty.
Right.
No penalty. But you cannot... what are they doing during the race? Because I think the stewards are not there to watch the race. They're there to take decisions on things which went wrong.
Right.
Correct? So I think they should shut the race down and tell to the stewards, analyze this protest, this scene, what happened here. Work on it make a decision and move on. Not watch. But I mean, for them watching the race, I don't think that should be part of their job.
Well, do you think part of it is because of after the Michael Massey incident, like the teams are not allowed to litigate during the race, so they got to wait, have everybody come in.
But by crossing a white line, what you want to litigate, either it is on or off. I mean, you have got cameras there.
Right,
I mean,
right,
you think,
exactly.
Exactly. And then the team still has got the chance to, what you call it, not to protest, to put something
Litigate
in. Yeah, exactly. But in the end, you're going over a white line or not. It's not like it's an incident like with Gasly and Lawson.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like a white line.
Yeah.
It's over or not. Before, after, in 3 days, it will be the same pictures.
Yeah, what the hell? What the hell is that? Because also it kind of screws Max in a way as well, because it's like if you're gonna have a if you're gonna have a time penalty, then maybe you're really pushing in those final laps in order to get whatever gap. Like you can make adjustments if you know what the penalty is going to be, but to hand out something after the race feels like you don't even give any control to the person who did the penalty in the first place. So that feels kind of, you're like weirdly screwing over the driver.
It also feels like they're playing the result. That's what it feels like. It's like, well, if Max wins or he has a good result, are we really going to take it away from him? That sort of thing.
But then there was that. But
you make it look like you're right on that one, Matt.
Yeah.
You make it look like you're playing the result. You decide the outcome. Let's see who we want to be good and who we want bad with. It's not like either. For me, the white line is you're over or you're not.
Right.
I mean,
Black
that
or
seems
white.
like something that doesn't need any discussion.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
It's just like that's black or white. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Obviously, there's the Charles Leclerc. He's spun, he hits the wall, he clearly has damage, and then he's limping home. He's getting passed left and right. But in his attempt to limp home, he is cutting corners. He is, not going through the chicane. He's just, making his way. He gets handed a 20-second penalty for, I believe, unnecessarily exceeding track limits to gain an advantage is that's how they described it, that it was unnecessary what he did. What are your thoughts on that? Obviously people are up in arms.
No, because I think if he stops the car there, guess what? A yellow flag comes out, a safety car comes out.
Right.
And I think he did try to avoid that one. I don't think it was dangerous what he did. The spin was dangerous, but he didn't do that on purpose. You know, he didn't want to spin for fun. That was an accident, and then he just tried to get back to the home as soon as possible. What should he have done? Stopped somewhere immediately and be a danger in there. Cutting the chicane, I don't know how much the car was damaged, but obviously it wasn't going well. So I think he was struggling to have control over the car.
Yeah,
but. For me, it was one of these things. I mean, this is what makes it exciting.
Right.
It's like, should he just stop there? Oh, my car is broke. I'm not going anywhere anymore.
I guess an argument could be that if his car was that damaged, he could have taken it, just brought it into the pits. But instead, he wanted to get to the finish line as fast as possible and mitigate his losses. And in his attempt to do that, even though the car was damaged, he wasn't able to make all those turns. So he did cut through certain chicanes. So as I know people are really mad about this, but I do kind of understand the penalty.
I also think the other argument is that he couldn't really turn that well, so he was kind of a danger to other drivers.
And I'm assuming that's what he did to plead his case. Them saying it was unnecessary feels unnecessary, but I guess if you're someone coming from the back who's trying to chase Charles, if you're I forget who
Max
finished.
Verstappen.
Well, but they got ahead of him, but who was behind? Who was even behind
Colapinto,
that?
I think
it was Colapinto. It was Hamilton and Colapinto, right? So if you're Hamilton or Colapinto and you're like, oh, Charles is wounded, right? Maybe I can get ahead of Charles,
right?
And in Charles's attempt to get across the line and mitigate the damage to his points and to the season, he's cutting through chicanes. I do kind of understand that. Am I crazy?
in the end, it's racing. I mean, you do what you need to do, and it's his decision if if he can get the car there or not. But you always try. It's every athlete tries to do the best. You're not just giving up. I mean, obviously, and then a penalty came, but 20 seconds is quite.
20 seconds feels very aggressive.
Exactly.
It does, especially because he was losing 20 seconds per second. It felt like in his attempt to do that. All right, fine. You convinced me. It was too much. Don't flame me in the comments. Okay, that's your wanker. It's the stewards. Your rockstar. It's Kimi Antonelli. Let's discuss a little bit more. We've had what feels like a pretty significant shakeup, Guenther. It feels like the Mercedes advantage, the Mercedes dominance might be seriously under threat. Was Miami an outlier, or is the Mercedes era of dominance over?
I think they're still the best, but they're not dominating. They have to fight for it. There's nothing for free for them, They need to fight, and as soon as they do something wrong, somebody else will be there. The Mercedes car, the Mercedes engine, I think it's still the best one out there, the Mercedes PU,
Okay, that we're going to talk about that later, but I mean, how embarrassing is this if you're Mercedes? Because usually when you have an advantage like this, when Mercedes came out of the box with, 0.7 seconds in qualifying, right? Really, and if it wasn't for the starts, it seemed like they had a real pace advantage. When you see something like that, you expect years of dominance, right? In the hybrid era, Mercedes had years of dominance. It wasn't until 2021 where Max could really compete. Red Bull could really compete in the Red Bull, porpoising era or whatever, the ground effects era, right? Mm-hmm. It took McLaren years, right, to finally be able to compete. Red Bull had a huge, so when you nail a regulation set, and as far as I've been watching, it takes years. Everyone was talking about it was going to be Mercedes. We were going to roll back the hybrid era dominance. And to only have it for 2 races seems like a real disappointment. Am I wrong?
Yeah, because Mercedes is used to be beaten by McLaren from the last 2 years, so there's nothing new.
Sure,
but that should. So it's like, we always lose to them. So this is I should just accept this. Or how many times am I going to lose to them before something needs to change?
I mean, for sure they're not accepting it, but it's not a surprise. I mean, how do you think they felt the last 2 years with McLaren dominating the world championship with their PU and they not catching up? I mean, it's like, okay, it's more of the same. We need to get better. But I don't think that McLaren is dominating yet. McLaren is good, taking the fight to them, which in the end is good, but it's also explainable. McLaren, it's a new PU, complete new technology. They need to learn about. Mercedes had an advantage because they, obviously being the manufacturer of the PU, they have got a time advantage. I mean, until you give the information, they run the car on the dynos, they can do all that good work. McLaren had to do a few races to get at the same information level as Mercedes. Now they're there. We all know what McLaren can do from the last 2 years. And now, see, they're back.
Okay, are you surprised that it's happened this quickly? That McLaren's been able to shrink this gap only after 3, this is now the 4th race of the year?
Yes, I'm a little bit surprised, positively surprised. I'd expected to take them longer. I think a little bit, but we shouldn't put too much onto that. The 2 races which were cancelled helped them, helped them a little bit because they could focus on it, what they learned from the first 3 races. In that time, you had more people focusing on it than when you have to go racing. But they've done a good job, They took all their lessons, looked at that, and I think where McLaren is good is to understand what they're looking at and to find how to overcome it, Because a lot of people got a lot of information, but they cannot come up with a resolution to it. How do I make this thing go now faster? Because to make it go faster, you need to understand what you're looking at. You need to understand why you're not fast. And I think McLaren has become very good at doing that one.
What are your thoughts on how the rest of the season is going to play out? Because I know you say that Mercedes is still dominant right now. I guess from my perspective, just going off of recent history, that this McLaren having figured this reg set out maybe, or starting to figure it out, it feels like to me, if I had to put some money on it, I think there's pretty good money on McLaren maybe starting to sail off into the distance here. And by the end of the year, maybe they are the dominant team. Do you think that that's possible?
I think it will be a close call there all over the season, because McLaren brought a lot of upgrades to Miami, while Mercedes didn't. I think Mercedes is looking for a big upgrade in Canada. Okay. So we have to wait. I think it's a little bit of a battle who develops more and better, but Mercedes is still not behind, being one step or having not made a big change on the car with upgrades like McLaren, because now the upgrades, if you get them right, they will make a big difference in your performance, because, it's low-hanging fruit in the moment. You learned a lot. It's a new regulation. So I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier than it will be in 3 years to find performance on a car.
What about Red Bull? Where do you think they brought some upgrades? Max qualified second. If it wasn't for that spin, it seems like he could have had a say in who won that race. Do we think that they've now come forward?
It's not Red Bull, it's Max Bull. So.
Okay, yes, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But where do we think Max is and his package is now in the pecking order?
They are not there where Mercedes and McLaren is, but they do better. I mean, it's like as soon as Max gets an opportunity, and the car must be better, because he's standing up behind the wheel in the moment to over-deliver for what he has got. But that we are used from Max to do that, So I think, is he liking the regulation yet? Not completely, but he's getting used to them, and he gets more out of it, and he will like them. So I think as well, they had upgrades, big upgrades, and they seem to be working. And but I think they are still a little bit distant because they started too far behind in the beginning, So let's see where they can get to. But if they wouldn't have had Max, or they would not have Max, it wouldn't be looking this good yet.
Okay, that brings me to the second part of the Red Bull question, which is, the first 3 races, people were pretty impressed with Isaac Hadjar. It seemed like they had found their answer to he was not that far off. I think he outqualified him once.
Yeah, once. Yeah.
Max got knocked out in Q2, I believe it was, and Hadjar made it through. Everybody was saying, finally, they have their answer, and then this big upgrade comes, and Hadjar is nowhere. Not only is he nowhere, but he literally crashes out both physically and emotionally, and then it starts to. Then you start to take a trip down memory lane, and you remember when Checo came in, and he won a few races, Jeddah, out-qualifies him in Monaco. He had flashes when he started. And then the upgrades start to roll in, and then he's nowhere. So I guess my question for you is, are we seeing the same thing here? That once when the car comes in edition 1, it's pretty close, and then once they start to develop the car, that whoever the number 2 driver is always fucked. We see.
It looks like, but I think it's too early to call, because I said Hadjar did a good job, and in Miami he didn't do a good job compared to Max. I mean, Max is back to the old thing now. So obviously we know all the history there. It's a Max show at Red Bull, and will it change? I think we were hoping. I do not think it will change, It's like in that team, and you saw Hadjar, as you say, his emotional outburst, It's like, now you crashed. There's no point that you hurt yourself as well by hitting the steering wheel. It's one of these things he lost control of himself. So, but I think Max does that to you. I wouldn't like to work with Max.
Yeah, Max. It's like it's people go into the insane asylum trying to figure out where they're losing time to
What about
Max
his? What about as his agent?
I would make shitloads of money with him.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but but I don't think his agent will leave soon. Raymond will not leave Max. He's having too much of a good time. Good old Raymond.
Yes.
So.
That's right. Okay, well, so now we've covered most of the main teams. I want to ask about Ferrari, because Ferrari feels like they're kind of just in the same place that they've been, which is like good, not great. But
they're almost
what are
there,
your interpretations
not
of it?
there. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm basically the same. They're there, but they're not really there. They're getting better.
They're a flash in the pan. They start out and then they drop like stones.
There's always something. It's never that last little bit is missing, and I would wish nothing better for them to get once over that hurdle and to stay there, because maybe when you get that feeling, you carry everything. But it's always, we are there, and then they announced already, it was announced, John Elkann, that now Ferrari's back. Yeah, guess what? A race later, they're back where they were before.
Right.
Just give yourself time to announce things, Get there and be there, not just get there.
Under promise, over deliver. They're a bit of the over promise, under deliver. It's difficulties of having a historic and really famous program. I think that there's I'm a Knicks fan, and there's a delusion when anything goes slightly right. It's like we're winning everything, and when it's bad, it's terrible. I guess my question: where it seems like the limitation is just in the power unit. Like that the Mercedes PU is just better, and they've made these compromises, and it's benefited them in terms of the race starts, but in terms of the race pace, they just don't have as much.
Too.
Is it tires too? Where are they losing it to these other teams?
There is not one thing. It's a lot of little things. There's not one big things, because if there would be one big things, I think it would be easier to fix. There's a lot of little things. I think it seems like they struggle more, or they when the tire gets older, they struggle more. That's normally down to downforce, because you slide more, you use them up more. The power unit, obviously, I think the power unit is pretty good, but it seems always the beginning of the race they can fight, and further you go into the race, worse it gets for them. So. The power unit shouldn't get worse over distance. So it's one of these things I don't really know. But they are very close again. It's not that they are far off, that you say, like Red Bull was to say, they are off, Ferrari was a lot closer, but just not that last 0.5% is there.
Right.
And it seemed like a little bit after the restart, he didn't. You see this happen, right? Is we saw this happen to George Russell in Japan. It's like he's locked in, then there's a safety car, and then for some reason, after the safety, the race restarts, and then they're nowhere. Why does that intermission fuck certain cars and certain drivers? Can you explain that to me?
No, because I'm the same opinion like you. You got in the beginning of the race, everybody's very close together, and then something happens, and once they start to get away or get apart the cars, you lose the contact. It just continues, but you not only see it in the front of the field, you see it also in the midfield. They're fighting very hard, and then once they're over 2 seconds of a distance, the car in the back normally drops off, and nobody made up time again, or very few times. You can see that somebody keeps improving, and I haven't really understood that one as well myself. It's in the lead, it's everywhere. Once they get away, but in the beginning, it's all very close together. Maybe with this power management, you can overcome it in the beginning, but you cannot consistently overcome it. And once you get left behind, then that's the real speed then of the cars.
I also think they were saying on the race or something that the yo-yo stuff happens in the beginning where they're just figuring it out, and then once everybody's sort of established where they're saving, where they're deploying, then it kind of sets itself. And then there's almost the equivalent to a power deployment DRS train, I guess. It standardizes, and it became more of a classic strategy race in a way. Like the race was one on strategy. And even if Lando had a little bit more pace, Kimi had the clean air, and he did a great job of not making any mistakes.
Yeah, that could be that the drivers just find out where they need the recharge to beat the other one. Well, you can make up, maybe you can, with the, as it's now called, the yo-yo. You know, I think that name came from Lando, the yo-yo effect. Helps in the beginning, but you cannot consistently do it, you know, and the other people find out how you manage your car, and then you just counterattack and do the right thing so you can get away. And then, as you say, you get back to a traditional, or it's not traditional, it was always like this Formula One, to a strategy race.
All right, let's discuss the regs. Obviously, we had a lot of adjustments made during this break, varying degrees of maybe effectiveness. Some of the drivers saying that a lot of it's still the same. Seems like it's maybe helped in qualifying. What was your interpretation of, Formula One 2026 2.0?
I think they did a good job. I mean, it was a lot better. Obviously, also the racetrack helped there. We don't have to forget that one. Miami helped to get it done. But I think Toto came out and said, who says it's boring and it's not fantastic yet. Obviously, he wants to stay where it is, for obvious reasons, and I understand his politics. But I think they need to keep on working at that, because it was pretty good. I mean, fair play. In a very short period of time, they came up with solutions which helped what was critiqued before. Is it completely perfect yet? Maybe not. And let's see on racetrack, on fast racetracks, basically, how it is going. But keep on working, and it will be fine at some stage. It will be fine. But do not say, now it's all good, and then we go to other 3 or 4 and come back with the same thing, negativity about it. Oh, it's not good. No, keep on improving. Look what happened here, and they have got all the data. They can exactly look what they need to fix, if there is something to fix, and then going into simulated on fast racetracks and adjusted the same way I like to adjust it here, just maybe a little bit more.
How did you feel about this race as a spectator?
Good. I feel very good. How do you feel about it?
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah,
I think it's
absolutely.
also interesting. You look at the yo-yo racing, and I think that there's like this assumption that every time there's an overtake in the yo-yo whatever, that the dumb fans are like, oh my God, that was thrilling. But, you can kind of zoom out a little bit and see that, they're going to trade places over the next 5 to 10 laps, but who is going to make that overtake stick? Who is going to ultimately have the pace, with the yo-yo? Who is going to ultimately be the person who gets ahead? And I think that's, interesting to watch how they navigate that, as you kind of were alluding to earlier.
It's a war, not the battle.
Right.
Yeah, no. It's actually it was good, I mean, the race was very interesting. The whole weekend, I think, was very interesting. The different, qualifying 4 different teams in the top 4.
Right.
That's a long time ago that happened last. So
in the beginning of a regulation set.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what more you want? I think, as I said, we shouldn't say, just leave it like it is and don't think about it anymore until we've got a problem. No, think you've got a problem and try to make it better. That's always the better solution than just hoping.
Now Max Verstappen is kind of changing his tune a little bit, where he says, I hope that we can figure out these regs for next year. That in a little bit it was like, is he going to retire this year? How unhappy is he? Blah, blah, blah. But he was, we're working on it, and hopefully by next year we can really work to solve these problems. How much of an adjustment can you make year to year? Like I know that it's difficult. The engines are set, and there's only so much that you can do in terms of fuel loads, in terms of how high you can really run the engines. How much can that change from a season to season?
I mean, the engine you can change to next season if you want more combustion engine power. It's I wouldn't say it's sitting here, it's easy to do, but it's not, for this guy, it's not difficult to do. You just need to give it more fuel. Obviously, you need to change something on the engine, because if you give it more fuel, there's different challenges coming in, but you don't have to change the architecture of the engine. And the chassis, I think every team will have a new chassis next year as well, especially after it was the first year of a regulation, so nobody, I think, is planning to carry over the chassis because of the fuel tank, because you need a bigger fuel tank. And if you give this engine 20 kilos more of fuel, I think you can have as much combustion engine power as you want. If that is what they allude to, it is doable and it's nothing too difficult. But I do not think in the moment they are thinking about doing something as drastic as that one. I think I think Max would like to do that, but I think the FIA and FOM, they want to more doing like they did the step from the first 3 races to Miami to tune and leave the basic technology where it is for this regulation.
Right, because what you're saying will add a lot of. Well, I'm curious to hear what you think about those. How much weight those solutions, those more extreme solutions, would add, because I think. The other thing that they're trying to avoid is those last generation of cars, they were like boats. And these cars, at least from an aerodynamic standpoint and from visually, they look lighter, they look more nimble, they seem more reactive. That seems like a positive. And it almost seems like if you make the battery bigger, you add too much fuel, all of a sudden they're going to be boats again. So I'm curious to hear do you think that the more extreme solutions that fuel or whatever or bigger I know that maybe a bigger battery would that concern you from a weight standpoint?
I would say the bigger battery would concern me because that is a weight which is always there. I mean, putting more fuel in and reducing the battery a little bit, I think you almost. If you don't get to a break even, but I think a lot of the cars are now at the minimum weight. So they next year they will go down with the weight as well. They will have to put ballast in. So I think putting 20 kilos more in would not come with any more weight, and you could taking a little bit of battery out of it, because if you can have 650, 700 horsepower from the combustion engine, You don't need this big battery.
My stupid question, maybe, but if you're trying to use less battery, you could make the battery smaller, wouldn't you?
Yeah, correct.
You could take weight, and those batteries are heavy as shit. So you could take weight out of the battery and just put more weight into the fuel.
In, yeah.
Okay, I like it. You know what? They need us in that room, Guenther. Who do you want to make a couple calls, and then
do you have Stefano's phone number?
Yeah,
of course.
I would think so. Yeah.
Call him. You want to put him on speaker?
He doesn't make that decisions. He's just part of the committee. The FIA is the decision maker on this one. I still need to explain you guys the governance. There is not one guy which can tell everything. There's a governance like in a democracy. We know that it all exists exactly like a democracy.
Oh yes. Democratically elected president, MBS.
Do you have Salam's phone number?
Who?
Mohammed bin Salam.
You got his number?
Yeah.
You text him? Do you have a text thread with him?
I cannot tell you what I do with the president, Jesus Christ. I mean, then he gets upset with me. Why you tell me?
Now I think something sketchy's happening.
No, I never do anything sketchy, you know me.
Then why can't you then why can't you tell us?
Well, what should we text him? The three guys from Vankah Hours would like to make these suggestions.
Say, hey, stop pouring water on the driver's heads,
Stop pouring
please.
water on the driver's heads.
Leave the driver's hair alone.
Yes. Don't touch Lando's hair, and maybe we could get a few passes in the same message.
Yeah. Insult him and request passes.
Yeah,
that's
Insult him and request passes.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, let's move on to our favorite segment, gas or brake.
Charles Leclerc is cursed.
Brake. I mean, how can he be cursed to be a Ferrari driver?
Are you listening to yourself?
Yeah, Guenther, say that again. Say that again slowly.
How can you be cursed to be a Ferrari driver? I mean, where he started off with. I mean, if you're a race car driver, that is what you want to be. You cannot say, it's a curse. I'm a Ferrari driver. I curse. No, you got lucky, buddy. But the result is not what you want.
Maybe you could be a Mercedes driver. You could be a Red Bull driver. You could be a McLaren driver.
Or you could be no driver.
Sure, you could be fucking homeless too.
That?
I mean,
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but that's the problem with the Ferrari being a Ferrari driver is that the hope is set so high, right? It's almost his race yesterday was a literal manifestation of what it's like to be a Ferrari driver. You start third, fourth, whatever. Then you're leading the race. You're leading the race. Oh my God. It's all going so well for you.
Downhill.
Then you just plummet. And you got to watch your dreams just go to shit right before your eyes. You're helpless to do anything. And then everybody that you fought so hard to get in front of passing you. And then you're trying so hard to just get sixth. When you had the race win in the bag, you're trying so hard to get sixth. And then what do? The FIA kicks you when you're fucking down. 20-second penalty. I never heard of that in my life. I heard 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 fucking seconds. I don't think Kevin Magnussen ever got 20 seconds in his whole fucking career. That's crazy, Guenther.
And you put that one down to so exactly. But
how
then
many
the question,
Monaco races has this guy lost from pole? God damn it! This guy is fucking cursed. And you, I don't know. I don't even. This guy's a definition of
But then
curse.
the question should have been, just shut up. The question should have been: is Charles cursed to be at Ferrari, not to be a Ferrari driver? That is a different question.
No. You said the question was: Is Charles Leclerc cursed?
Is Charles Leclerc cursed?
Is he cursed? Like,
no, he's not.
In a sports
he's
curse,
an F1 driver.
but you've heard of sports curses, right, Guenther? The curse of the Bambino, that the Red Sox didn't win for 86 years, right? Now, listen, if you're a Red Sox player, you're in the MLB. You're not, you're living a good life.
You're not on a podcast like we three wankers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
He doesn't have he hasn't been so cursed that he has to do a podcast with a couple of fucking Vankers from the United States. But within a sporting context, I think 100% gas. But the dude's cursed. In a sporting context, Guenther, obviously he lives an amazing fucking life. But he's cursed in a Formula One sporting context 100%.
So Guenther, you're telling me that if anything bad ever happens to any millionaire, you're just like, well, he's a millionaire, so fuck him.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Fuck him.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Right,
No tears spilled over millionaires.
How bad can it be?
How bad can it be? True.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Next prompt.
Max Verstappen is a title contender.
Break. No. He's not a title contender. No way. I don't even want to explain that. It's just not going to happen this year. No.
I feel like I'm dealing with two morons, with goldfish memories. I feel like I was here last year. First of all, I'm going 100% gas because we were here last year and I was like, no, Max doesn't have a chance. Stop it with this delusion. They don't have the car. It's I listen to you, McLaren. S3 every week. Papaya. It was every week with that. No. And you know what? They didn't beat Max at the end. Max fucking beat Max. The only one who could defeat Max is himself. He qualified second. He could have won that race if he hadn't spun. This car is going to come back online at some point. He's going to will that fucking car by hook, by crook, by threatening to retire, by, Fernando Alonso style, envelopes full of cash, whatever he needs to do to get this fucking car back, and he's gonna be in the hunt. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. We had this exact conversation last year. How many times does he need to pull shit out of his ass?
I think you took some crazy pills in Miami last night.
2025. How many times he got to do it? 2021. How many times he got to do it?
I think you took some crazy pills last night in Miami.
That's right. Yeah, I'm going break.
Exactly.
I'm going break.
You
You talk about last year, there was only one person
but
who
in the
called
end,
the WDC correctly, and it was me. So, you guys should really be asking me what my opinion is, and you should really go from there. I think it's too much of a hurdle. I think this was a little bit of an outlier. I think these other teams are too good, and we don't know what's really going on with that Red Bull PU. It's going to be unreliable. There's only so much that the guy can do. And even though last year he was fucking pulling off miracles, I think it's going to be, it's too much this year. There's too much in front of him. Next prompt.
We will have a 5-way title fight.
I need to think. Who are the 5?
Both Mercedes.
Max for sure. I mean,
both
listen to
McLarens.
Yeah.
And then I guess you could say Charles Leclerc.
Max.
You could say, if you want to be generous, you say Lewis Hamilton, and then if you want to be generous, you say Max Verstappen. Potentially, we have a 8-way title fight.
Yeah.
No, for the 5. Gas.
7?
It's a
5?
No, gas. For 5, gas. Yeah.
And who's in that?
2 Mercedes, 2 McLaren, and Charles. Charles on the outside, but the 2 McLaren, 2 Mercedes for sure.
You think any one of those guys could win this championship?
Yeah, obviously, that's as I said before, my favorite, but it's possible. Yeah.
I like it.
I'm going
Max.
break because you named all these fucking people that are not Max. It's so crazy that you think that Charles Leclerc has in the Ferrari that just blows its load in 30 seconds, just goes out in a blaze of glory, has a better chance at this title than Max fucking Verstappen. Is just the height of idiocy to me. It's just idiotic. Break. I think you got to add a 6th person to it.
I think you got the envelope from Max to speak about this.
That's right.
Like this about him.
And an envelope full of cash.
You know what's the pathetic thing is people think I'm on the take. People think the things I say are so stupid that people are paying me. And the sad thing is I'm saying all these stupid things for free. Free of charge.
Stupid.
Not even free of charge. Sometimes losing money.
Sometimes losing money.
We're paying to say these ourselves.
Yeah, people are unsubscribing in droves because of the things I say. So, yeah.
Don't unsubscribe, guys, because of Madman here.
That's
Please,
right. I am going gas. I think that any one of those guys, probably minus Charles. But I think the McLarens and the Mercedes.
I said he's an outsider. We said, I
would say that between Mercedes and McLaren, I think any one of those 4 guys could win this championship. So I'm going gas. Next prompt.
Kimi Antonelli is the favorite to win the WDC.
Gas. Absolutely gas now. 6 weeks ago, I was different opinion. I'm allowed to change my opinion. When I see things, I don't have to be stubborn, I was told, I'm not stubborn. What I saw the last races, and especially Miami, I think he's now the favorite.
Who told you that you were stubborn, Guenther?
Everybody.
Okay.
There's not one single person.
I'm going gas. I like what I see. He's got confidence. He's got the people. He's got the love of the people.
I thought it was Max. I thought you were with Max.
I said he was in the. You don't listen to me. I said he was like in the hunt. He was a contender, and to count him out,
he cannot be a contender if you make him as a favorite.
No, I didn't say he was a favorite. I said he was a contender. I said that you underestimate him at your own peril. That's what I said.
All right. Just calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. Don't say these inflammatory things. Don't twist my words around into gaslight me and twist my words around like a.
Do you know what gaslighting is, Guenther? Have you been taught that by your family?
Yes, sending you the wrong direction, basically.
Yes.
Influencing your.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. I never said
it's
that.
It's a very American saying, gaslighting.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you're an American guy, Guenther. Don't forget.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So you're going.
I'm going gas. I think Kimi,
he doesn't know anymore.
I think yes, because you're altering my reality around me and manipulating it. I'm going gas. I think Kimi's got the momentum. I think George is shook, as they say, and he's shown me. He's got him on Saturday. He's got the race pace. What more do you want? Toto loves him. What more do you want?
I'm going break. I think George Russell, he's had a rough couple of weeks. This last week was the week where he wasn't unlucky. I would say that in Japan and in China, he had bad luck in those races. Miami, a racetrack that he didn't like, racetrack that he never has gotten along with, that Kimi loved last year. I think that this is an outlier. I think Canada, George Russell is going to come back strong. I still think that George Russell is the favorite to win this championship. And I learned last year That, you can get hot, you can count a guy out, but we watched what Lando Norris was able to do. We watched what happened with Oscar Piastri. Kimi Antonelli is even more inexperienced. He's even younger, and he's even more potentially flappable. Right now, the pressure is off. Kimi's having a great time. But in that crunch time, I think that George Russell, I think right now might be a good time to put some money on George Russell because everyone thinks that he's fucking out of this thing. I think that George Russell, it's still his championship. Next prompt.
McLaren will win the Constructors.
Break. Mercedes will win the Constructor. Sorry. Just like, there's no explanation need to be done. Okay. They will win the constructors.
If McLaren keeps fucking things up like they do, they're gonna keep stepping on their own dicks. I'm going break. I'm going break. They're not gonna. I think.
Yeah, I'm going break too. I think it's still Mercedes constructors to lose. But we'll see. And last prompt.
Mercedes should stop selling engines to McLaren.
Whoa. Gas. If I would be Toto, I would do that, yeah, exactly, It's an easy solution to be beaten. All right, I don't give you an engine anymore, But I know he can't stop it because you need to supply engines, by regulations, but maximum to two other teams. You're not obliged to do more than two.
Alpine and Williams, done.
Exactly, Alpine and Williams. Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah. No, I would say. But again, Toto is a sportsman. He gives his best piece to his biggest opponent.
But why?
That's a good question. I don't know. Because I wouldn't do it.
Can you text him and ask him?
We could ask him, why the hell do... Oh, we will get the explanation. Yeah, we're in a sport. We need to be fair with each other, and all that stuff,
Right.
So...
Do you think the board is looking very seriously at that?
No, I was looking serious as not supplying. You mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think now that they gave it to them, it would look really bad. It would look
right. Embarrassing.
Embarrassing, yeah.
It would be more embarrassing potentially than losing to them on track to just take the engine away.
Exactly.
Because they're that good.
Yeah.
It'd be a bigger PR hit that they were so scared to lend them their engine.
I would say it was not a good idea to go into the deal in the first place because at the time they didn't have to go into. But there is always the circumstances, Where was it when McLaren had the Mercedes engine and then they gave it to Braun that year when they won the World Championship,
Right.
Yeah, but McLaren was nowhere when they made the deal. So it wasn't a dumb idea at the time. No,
exactly. It was a different thing, McLaren went from Honda to Renault to Mercedes. They just could have said, no, we don't give you an engine. But obviously at the time, nobody thought that McLaren will have this resurgence, and be this strong again.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was a fascinating thing with the whole Braun. They like got all the teams together to be like, all right, let's help out these fucking losers. And then all of a sudden they win the championship and they're like, Jesus, why did we help you?
A lot of people look stupid there.
Yeah. So, all right, what do you, gas or break?
I'm going gas. That's like my fiance says a guy, she thinks this guy's really handsome, and then I give that guy her phone number. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. What do you? No, you're not getting. I'm not giving you my fiance's phone number. It's literally. It's like somebody's fucking my fiance in my house. It's the ultimate. And I set the whole thing up.
Hey, wait a moment.
And I set the whole thing up. I facilitated the whole thing myself.
You're not an OnlyFans
if someone's
here.
going to fuck my fiance, I'm certainly not going to make it easy for him.
So Mercedes are
not
cucks.
OnlyFans.
Yes, Mercedes are cucks. Exactly.
So are you familiar with that term, Guenther? A cuck?
Yeah.
So we're saying Mercedes are cucks with their engine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this is what they're doing.
They say steal my girl, aka the WDC, and the constructors. Hey, use my engine and win my awards.
Yeah, exactly. But what is my? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm going gas. So figure it out on your own, buddy. I'm not fucking gonna help you with this shit anymore. Have fun with a Ferrari engine, okay, McLaren. Have fun with a Ferrari engine. Here's a question that I have, Guenther. This has never really made sense to me. You see McLarens, they're on the street, they make their own cars. Like, why can't McLaren make their own engine? Red Bull makes their own engine now. Why
Ferraris? They're like Ferraris. They're like they make supercars.
Yeah, but it's a lot of money, and Ferrari as a car company is not there where Ferrari is yet, you know. So it's just like, and to make engine, obviously, it's possible, as you can see with Audi and with Red Bull doing it with Ford, you know. But it costs a lot of money, and you need to find that money. And obviously, it is much better to buy the best engine, and you spend a lot less money, take a lot less risk by doing like this. And as long as you find somebody who gives it to you, who's dumb enough to give you the best engine, why would you make your own one?
Right. Sure, but I guess at a certain point, especially because they are one of these top teams, and now they're buying engine from a direct competitor, like, is that a natural progression if you are going to be one of these top teams? I mean, Red Bull has made that jump, right? At some point, will McLaren want to do that? Do you think that's in Zach Brown's, in the distance for something that he wants to do?
I don't know. I mean, there is two things. The risk is what he's doing now. You're not in control what Mercedes is doing. Right, you just rely that they're doing a good job because they always did, you know. And then the other risk is one day they will say no to you.
Yeah.
Well, that is the risk. And that is for Zach to, see how much risk he wants to take. But making your own engine is a big financial commitment and the big risk that you fuck it up, because it's not easy.
Well, Guenther, you probably know the answer to this. In the hybrid era, did Red Bull ever think, like, what would have happened? And I don't know if this happened. What would have happened if Christian Horner went to Toto and was like, "Can I get a Mercedes engine?" Toto probably would have said no. Or did he say no? Or why was Christian always saddled with a fucking Renault during that time?
There is no love affair between Red Bull and Mercedes as companies, and that comes from the old days. So I think Red Bull would not go to ask Mercedes for an engine. And if they go, I think Mercedes' answer would be no. So
but now McLaren's
don't ask
getting
a question where you don't want an answer, or the answer you will not like the answer.
But now McLaren is entering the Red Bull spot. They're the scrappy customer team. They're now in the same place Red Bull was 10 years ago or whatever it is.
Yeah, but I think the relationship there was different.
Right.
I think there
was
was
no bad blood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was some bad blood. Yeah.
Who cares about bad blood? You're getting beaten.
This is what's kind of funny about the Formula One world is, like, you're getting beating on track, but it's just like, but he's nice to me when I see him around. So, like, I'll still give him my, like, but we're there's good vibes between us, and, like, that's the difference. Is that, like,
my opinion before was I wouldn't give them an engine. My opinion about it.
Yeah. I just think it's an interesting. That's just like an interesting dynamic. It's and that's where it feels like the billionaire sandbox that is Formula One feels like it really, like, rears its head, which is that, like, club. That it's just like, well, I don't really like that guy, so I'm not going to give him my engine. But I do like this guy, but he's beating me on track. It's just,
I don't like Michael Andretti.
Exactly.
So he's not going to be.
Andretti kind of annoyed me with how he asked to be in Formula One. He's not going to be in Formula One.
We're all humans, We're all humans,
Oh, the billionaires are humans.
But these guys are supposed to be rational. These guys are supposed to be rational businessmen, right? That's the whole thing.
You think?
I got one.
But you think that Toto doesn't regret the day when he gave McLaren the engine? You don't think
he
regrets it?
He can walk that back whenever he wants. Now I have a question.
He looks bad. He looks bad. I mean,
he
looks
said that
bad before.
Now. He'll look bad for like a year, and then people will forget. That's what I think it is. I think it's a momentary embarrassment. It's a short-term pain to avoid long-term pain. Now, my question for you is, Guenther,
you should be a consultant to Toto.
I think I should. I think we should just.
They have a very similar
you should
vibe.
give me his number.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I can,
exactly.
I can
Yeah,
handle
yeah,
it
right.
myself.
Well, earlier you said that a billionaire can't, like, that these guys who live good lives, that they can't be cursed, right? You said that about Charles Leclerc. You said, he's not cursed.
He's in Formula
Nothing bad
1,
can
yeah.
happen to him.
No.
He lives a good life because he has money. But then you're like,
No, not money. You put the money in. I said
Okay,
he's a
what
good
does he
life.
have, Guenther?
He's
What does he
driving
have?
an F1. That's what he always wanted to do as a kid, Being an F1 driver. He's an F1 driver now at Ferrari. What's bad with that? How many millions, if not billions, of kids want to be an F1 driver at Ferrari? Yeah, he's not winning.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Guenther. Guenther, you wanted to be in Formula One when you were a kid, and you were fucking miserable half the time. I read your fucking books. Oh, fuck me. We qualified 5th, and now we go back. You were fucking miserable. You made it to Formula One. And half your book is fucking fuck this,
Misery.
fuck that, misery. So you're such a hypocrite.
wherever you go, there you are, as as the saying goes. But I guess it's interesting because earlier you're like, okay, sorry, not that he has money, that his dreams came true, so he can't feel pain, right?
He can feel short-term pain, not long-term.
Okay. All right. Now we're mincing words here.
Exactly.
He's
Yeah,
feeling
yeah, yeah.
short-term pain. Okay, so then that goes. Jeff Bezos feeling short-term pain, right? He
Pain,
has
yeah,
sores
it's
all
all
over
right,
his
yeah.
body.
Yeah, okay.
Fuck him.
He will
Okay.
find the doctor. He will find the
great,
doctor.
great.
He's got enough money,
but the billionaires, they're people, they're humans, and you step on my foot. I actually don't like that, and you can't have my engine. So you have the empathy for that, but not for other things. We're just trying to get into the psychology
How that brain
of
works.
your
He
brain.
cannot get. Is there a brain?
In your brain, you're saying you don't have
Is
one.
there one? Is there one? Yeah.
Remains to be seen. That's what this
Remains
podcast
to
is
be.
actually a psyop to figure out whether you have a brain or a heart.
We started. We turned it around. I have to fight that one out with you two as well.
That's right.
know?
That's right. This is we're trying to figure
It's a
this
social
out.
experiment.
This is a whole big social experiment. Okay, this podcast has gotten fucking off the rails.
Away, exactly.
I think maybe we'll do a Canada preview at some point, so we've got a few weeks. Maybe we'll do some of that. So I don't think we're gonna get your predictions right now. You're gonna have to wait around and subscribe right now to get Guenther's Canada preview.
That's right.
So
Yes,
subscribe, and we will see you soon. Guenther, how are you feeling about this season? Were you feeling good? You feeling like we got a good season on our hands?
Yeah, I think we've got a very good season after Miami in our hand. The first 3 races were not too bad, but Miami now, I feel good about it. A lot of people can win. There is no dominance or domination or whatever you call it.
I love it.
It's good.
I love it.
All right. We'll see you next time, Vankas.
Bye, Vankas.
Goodbye, Wankers.
I'm a boss. I'm a red flag heavy hitter.